Hey guys, welcome. Come on in. Come on inside here. Let's take a look at this guy. This is the ZHIYUN Smooth X Gimbal Stabilizer. For your phone, takes up a very small amount of space. Teeny. This is the combo. It's about 69 bucks or so. Incredibly affordable for what you get. Make sure to pause this if you just want to see some of the specs that I'm not going to cover. Also leave a link in the YouTube description. That'll get you to see some other specs. You get a case, straps tight, good zipper on this thing. ZHIYUN always kind of, they outdo themselves on storage for their devices, so it's here as well. You got plenty of room on the right there to store some extra goodies and stuff, which is cool. The gimbal and the tripod mount fits in there nice and snug. I really like this case, so good job for the extra 10 bucks or so. It's worth it to kind of get the combo. It folds in there on itself really nice and neat. It might feel like it's gonna break, but it's not. It's plastic, sturdy, but all plastic, but completely sturdy. So they did a good job manufacturing this for as cheap as possible, I think. USB Type-C port right there. Get about 4 hours of battery life out of this. Power button's on the opposite side from the USB Type-C port. It doesn't turn all the way around 360 degrees. We'll cover that in a little bit. You get some zoom functions there that work. If your phone's not compatible with this, there's a compatibility list. You still get your Bluetooth buttons there. Your record button and mode button and stuff like that will work. It's not affected. The record button will work if you're on your own phone's camera app. It will activate video, photo, whatever you're actually on at the time. It's like a Bluetooth remote button. It'll work once you sync it up. So no worries there, but you will have to activate it and do all that kind of good stuff. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. Your phone will work in this. It kind of should accommodate all sizes, but the compatibility list is on the YouTube link down below. It bends and contorts and does all kind of stuff like that. It doesn't bend the other direction, so you can't use your main camera to pan back at you once you're boomed completely out. And the boom is 10.2 inches, so I feel like that's plenty enough to get the reach, that extra reach that you want. And whenever you're boomed completely out and you're using that tripod as an extra grip and your arm is straight out, it absorbs a lot of the bounce. So that's a little technique used. This thing's pretty stout. It's got a lot of pieces to it, and those pieces add a lot of stiffness to it. So I was surprised at how little it flexed. So it's very well made, completely worth the money when you kind of check it out before you even start using it. It will not work with a case. I hate that, but it is what it is. Once you take the case off, it fits down in those grooves, and those grooves allow those buttons to float in there and not be accidentally touched, which is nice. Once you balance it, it should move either way and stay put, and that is important. That's to power it on there. And the ZHIYUN app is what that is called. So once you register your device, which you have to do, and a lot of people don't like the fact that you have to log in, create kind of an account, and register it. It's just part of it. You can't just turn it on and use it. I hate that too, but that's the way it is. I'll show you free range of motion here. I'll go far left, far right, and that's all you get out of it. And then we'll talk about it. I wish it would flip all the way around and face me with the main camera so I can have it boomed completely out and also film, because I like filming with the main camera. I don't like filming with the selfie cam too much because of the quality difference, but sometimes it's just worth the content to just flip that camera around and go ahead and use it and frame yourself up correctly. Okay, I get it. And sometimes camera quality isn't everything, so whatever. So here we are with the app, and it will rotate around like that. You push the mode button like twice. It'll go in and out of that position to landscape to portrait. Single tap on the mode will lock in your direction, so it can either turn as you turn the handle left or right, or go with it, or it will stay fixed straight ahead. And you know, it does its job. So there's not much going on with it that you're going to be able to have to memorize. It's just a few little button clicks here and there, and you can reset that gimbal back. I believe it's 3 clicks on the mode. Get 720, 1080p, and 4K, 30 frames per second. I could not adjust the frames per second, more or less, even though your camera may do that. Your camera app that's built into your phone may do that. That's a glamour mode. You can change the different glamour settings and stuff. It doesn't work in 4K mode, only 1080 and 720. So I don't really use that. And then there's your video settings and stuff. This is kind of geared toward like TikTokers and social media people that want to set this thing down, put it in portrait mode, let it follow you, lock onto you and stuff like that, and kind of follow you around. And I see the benefit in that, and it's a real demand for that. So ZHIYUN did the right thing, I think, and made this to cater toward that. I'm not going to use it for that. I'm going to try to use it as a tool in my arsenal so I don't have to carry a boom pole and a tripod or anything like that. And it's super small and compact, so I can kind of get by with carrying less with me to film locations, to film the family and things of that nature, because I'm already carrying 2 kids. I don't need more than I have to have. So kudos for that end of it. And I think it's able to cater to a wide audience and just work. But there's some gimbal settings here where you can change the speeds and stuff. My phone's not compatible with this fully. I have an LG V50, and so I don't know if this is affecting the calibration here, but it will not calibrate no matter how many times I do it. I get a failure for calibration, which it could be changed in the update, but it just won't do the calibration for some reason. But it doesn't seem too bad out of whack. On the camera app itself, you can get to the gallery there, you can get to time lapse. There's a photo video mode, a pano mode here, which is really cool. You might actually use the pano mode, because once you select it, it'll go left, right, and take these photos and get a good panoramic shot, one that you probably can't get by hand. I always have issues with those when I'm trying to scan around. For some reason I move up or down. This will handle it, so you got a awesome sunset, a vacation or something, it can really capture it. I tried to zoom in here to see where this is stitched at. Couldn't find the stitching location, so I think it's a good job with the blinds there. I tried to see if I could see where it stitches, and I couldn't do it, so it actually stitched together really well, so congratulations on that. Good job. This is a pretty neat function. It's like a smart assist to give you some creative direction tips and hints, but also give you creative capabilities, I guess, because it's going to shoot the shots for you, break them down into like 4 scenes or whatever, X amount of seconds apart, and give you a preview of each of the little scenes down there that you can select, and show you what it's going to do, what the gimbal is going to do. I love this stuff to really help people gain a creative aspect on something and be proud of themselves for throwing something together and can show it on social media right away. That's really cool for gaining more ideas to do manual controls. It's like a step in the right direction. I think we need more of that. I think we're getting more of that readily available. This is a cheap product, and I think it'll be a good creative gift for a teenager or something like that to really create things and let this stitch it together and show you, hey, you can also do this manually and put a little more effort and just go a little bit more, and get better and better and better. And I really like that this exists for this at this whole unit price, you know what I'm saying? Because there's some things that exist like this, but you'll pay $200-300 for it and you get this software included. But this $60, you know, not bad. I will also have a video shot solely on this gimbal that'll come at some point in the future. I'm supposed to be there in, I think, a couple weeks at this one place I've always wanted to film, so that will exist soon, if not linked at the end of this video. So pay attention. Once I do it, I'll edit it and link it. But yeah, there's a dolly shot too, so those things are cool. Just kind of teaches you what you can do with the unit. Photo mode exists on this app. I'm trying to showcase this app as much as I can, even though I probably would recommend maybe using your own or buying one with more manual controls. Just gear yourself toward manual controls. There's a tracking function there. You can just tap the screen and drag it over at any time, and it will kind of lock on. And it does a good job here because I try to knock it out of view. Will it find itself? yes, it eventually finds that pattern that I assigned to it earlier. It doesn't work with everything, but it does with that chair back because it has a unique pattern. It probably is able to lock on a little better. But yeah, you know, try your own app. You can hit home, goes out, and you can hit the camera on the app itself. It'll go back in. That's how you kind of navigate in and out of there. So zoom function works. It's set up right now as slow as it'll zoom. I hoped it would be a variable zoom switch, but it's kind of really hard to do that if it is. So it kind of just one speed, but you can set the speed in the settings there. There it is, boomed out, and it, you know, you can get aggressive with it, and it's not going to damage or hurt anything. And you can kind of see how it works to magically wand that thing around. One of the things to note is because of the 2-axis gimbal, whenever you point down, it points down, and when you point up, it points up. So when you want to do those sweeping boom motions up and down, you got to come up with another way to do it. And another way to do it is to use one of the axes to go around the phone like that. But you can only go on one side, because as we go on this side, it hits the phone. The other side, you've got full around the phone capability. So you can start out like that, point it down, and as you come up, you spin it around like that. That'll give you a better booming ability and kind of bypass an axis, but you got to kind of finesse it. You'll get good at it. And also you can kind of hold it to the side like that and do some things with it if it's more comfortable for you to do that. Got that option. You got a lot of flexibility, even though it appears to be limited. And one limited thing you got is viewing yourself on the main camera. Since you can't bend it, you can't really do it. I wish it could bend the other way, but it doesn't, and we're left with that. But it'll work. All right, I'm focused on the red square on the backboard. It's doing a good job keeping it highlighted. No problems, I'm not doing anything. It's keeping it smoothly within a frame that I would want to put it in. Not right in center, kind of off center a little bit. So yeah, so now with this fully extended, let's go up high with it and look around. Would I recommend getting this? For the price, for what you get for it, yeah, your expectations just has to be probably lowered down a little bit on what you're actually going to be able to do with it, because you are limited on one axis, from one axis, and so you have a 2-axis gimbal, which is pretty neat because it makes it more compact. But this motor that's up on the top doesn't support much off weight, so I've tried to use an action cam on a metal plate. Can't really get that good and centered, and when you finally do, it's just too much weight for it, and it gives out and just goes in standby mode. So if you're going to be looking at this to maybe attach something other than your cell phone with a case or an action camera or something on a plate, it's probably not going to work. The only thing this is going to work with is a phone without a case. The LG app is the best camera app out there, so I'm not going to forfeit that for this app, because I want to fine tune and do things with it other than what this can do. This is 4K 30 frames per second. If you're cool with that, that's what you're going to get. I like to play with 60 frames per second, even more for slow motion. Just manual controls. I just love to have manual controls. So more of that, the happier I am. But I understand why that's not all on this, because you can just use your own camera app and do it. You just lose the tracking functions and all that stuff. But if I'm into manual stuff, I'm doing that myself and not really letting the camera do that anyway. I just wanted to show you, hey, it can kind of do it and play around with it if you want to. I wouldn't buy this thing solely on that information, on that kind of stuff, or what it can do in the camera app. I would buy it for what you want to do with your own app, and use this as a tool to get you the footage that you might need. And this is all filmed on the mic on the phone, so you might get some wind distortion, but it's filmed through their app, so maybe it'll automatically wind filter it. I don't really know. we're going to use this fence post to try to give you some guidelines for bouncing or something. I'm running. Got this thing fully extended, cocked out a little bit, using the tripod mount as an extra length handle. And whenever you do that, your body can absorb a lot of the bounce, and this is how I would film anything anyway on a gimbal or a pole or anything. I normally have it completely extended out, and that way my body kind of tries to absorb a lot of the immediate bounce. Probably get a little bounce up and down. It's not very harsh because my arm's absorbing it. This long pole is absorbing it. There's a lot of things that absorbs the bounce, makes your footage look good. And I like that this is just built into this. It eliminates one thing I have to carry with me, which is great. Now, there's not a lot that I can go into great detail about on the function side of it, because I just don't think my phone is fully compatible. The hand gesture tracking wouldn't work, and I'm not seeing a full readout of some of the things across the left that it would appear would be on some of the other devices that are approved maybe for it. And I'm also going to film one video completely shot with it, nothing but this thing. It's coming later. It was supposed to happen like a month ago. This video was supposed to happen like a month ago, but I kind of got tired of waiting to just go to this one place that I want to go to that I've never been before, that I want to film solely with this thing. And I think it's going to be pretty cool, but that's going to come up here in the next coming weeks. So I'll link that at the end of this video once that takes place. So if you don't see it right now, then it hasn't happened, and I haven't edited and uploaded it yet. So, but it's coming. So there's 2 videos along with this thing, and I do recommend it because the price is cheap. And it's also just a tool in the arsenal. I mean, you think about it as, to me, I think about it as like a boom pole that's motorized and 2 axes. So because of that, and a tripod built in and everything, that just means less stuff I have to carry. Even though the issues with the app and a lot of things didn't work for me, didn't work well, that doesn't matter because I'm using my own camera's app, not even the ZHIYUN app. So that just voids that out for me. I don't care about it. And I look forward to using this device as just another tool in the arsenal, you know, with less stuff to carry. 2 kids, man, goes great with my ecosphere. So make sure to explode on that subscribe button and ding that bell so you get notified on the next product review that I got coming. See, it's super windy and this thing is holding up. It's moving a little bit, but I feel pretty confident the wind wouldn't blow it over. So good job. I like it. See ya.